Welcome back for the second segment of the August 4th Trips and Traps. I'm Andy Serling, joined by Eric Donovan.
3 more races to bring you, all turf races, a couple stakes a little bit later on, but we'll get things started with the maiden special weight for 2-year-olds going a mile and 16th on the turf, the 6th race from July 30th.
Yeah, this is a race where we're showing a horse that may have absolutely no ability whatsoever. It's impossible to really tell. We're going to show sort of the bits of the race. The Salmon Silks is a first-time star named Quiet Danger for trainer George Weaver. Quiet Danger has a giant pedigree. The dam herself won some real money on the turf. I think it's like 6 turf winners, stake winners in the second family. George Weaver, lousy record with first-time starting 2-year-olds in the turf going long. This is the kind of horse that is bred to have ability, so what Eric and I are hoping here is this horse just had absolutely no idea to run first time out.
It broke slowly and goes a little wide into the turn. The rails are up pretty far as well, so, he's losing ground at this point here. But the problem is that he never really does any kind of significant running in the race, and we'll drop back and pick it up at the top of the middle point of the turn here, and this horse will come back on the screen, Quiet Danger, going wide once again, but there's just never any kind of rally in here. And this race seemed to be fairly run. It wasn't a race, it was kind of a slow pace, but it seemed like horses from the back were able to, make up some kind of ground, and Quiet Danger just couldn't do it.
Yeah, no, listen. We're just having fun here and trying to find some things. And Quiet Danger may be one of these horses that may need a lot of time because he just seems to be clueless out there. It might be because he has very little ability, but it might be based on the pedigree that he has ability and he's just a young horse that's not really ready to do his best running. So maybe this horse shows up here, maybe shows up at Belmont, maybe shows up at Gulfstream in the winter. I don't know. I know his owner Randy Hill certainly wants to win a race at Saratoga, but so do a lot of owners around here. Just thought this is a little bit of a food for thought in a horse that might be better than it ran here.
And should be a good price next time out.
Absolutely. You can dismiss this race next time you see it.
Okay, we'll move on to our second race of this second segment. We're going to take a look at the Hattie Mosley Stakes for 3-year-old fillies going a mile on the inner turf. And we're going to look at the 8 STARFORMER.
I feel like STARFORMER is going to be a trap, and STARFORMER is a horse that's going to cost people money down the road. STARFORMER is a first time in the country, Juddmonte 3-year-old that's actually run recently in Europe, and it's rare to see these horses ship over in the middle of their seasons like that. Usually they'll come next year or such, and took a ton of money here. I'm 2-1 on this horse first time out. And she runs fine after breaking a little slowly, but it was a race that, despite a slow pace, really did fall apart, which, even though it's a much different course, obviously, it had an almost European running line to it.
It kind of did, and there's STARFORMER kind of getting jammed up toward the back of the pack in between horses there, but the pace for this race was 24-4, 50 seconds flat, so this is a slow pace. You would expect the horses on the front end to do very well in this spot here. That's not the case. The horses that finished first, second, and third were 8th, 6th, and 10th in the early going here.
And the 5th finisher was 9th. The Speeds finished 4th and 6th. So, we talked about these races at Belmont. It seems like, there is a little bit too much unaggressive riding around here at times on these turf races, but having said that, it seems as though the paces don't line up with the way the races end up being running all too often.
Yeah, it's a frustrating thing for handicappers because you're banking on some more speed. You're thinking that your closer is going to have a decent shot, a fair chance, and sometimes it just doesn't play out that way. And STARFORMER still yet to reappear. I think just getting back on track a little bit toward the back of the pack now, and we'll see STARFORMER get back on the screen shortly here. But once again, a horse that is pretty far back.
Yeah. Jose Lozcano gives STARFORMER a very good ride because he gets her to settle on the back, and he's saving ground on the rail right now. And you see her just coming the picture now. But don't forget, Jose got her from post 8. He got her in the 2-path in the first turn, the rail in the second turn. He angles her out. He'll split horses pretty smoothly up here. Considering she's on a much different kind of racetrack she's been running on, she handles it well, and he rode her well. She's making this big run right now, and you think she might actually get there. But I thought she kind of hung a little bit towards the end and didn't finish up. Not saying she doesn't have ability. Not saying Bill Mott isn't a trainer that rates to improve her. But I think she's going to have a little bit of I want to say stigma, but that's the wrong word. Just sort of, people are going to think, oh, it's Juddmonte, and they're always overbet those horses, and she'll get better in her second start. I'm just not sure she's that good.
First time out for Bill Mott. Maybe she needed one. The bottom line is that, my Redbird's a nice horse, but, this horse is supposed to be able to outfinish that one, or at least get, right there head and head down to the wire.
No, you're right, though. The way the race was run, she is supposed to beat my Redbird, not taking anything away from her, but these horses are a real cut below the kind of top horses, and STARFORMER's a horse that might take a step up in class next time, and I don't think she's going to be able to handle it.
All right, we'll take a look at another turf stake. This one, a sprint on the grass here on the Mellon Turf Course, 5.5 furlongs. Looking at Smart and Fancy, looking at Legally Blanca in the Smart and Fancy.
Yeah, Smart and Fancy actually trained by Tony Dutcher, as was Legally Blanca. I just think Legally Blanca was an hour and a half the best in this race, and I think Strike the Bella finished third right behind her. You see the blue. She was second best in here, but Legally Blanca, there was no pace in here. And you see how well Outpost in the lead does in this race. She finishes 4th, just beat right at the end. The winner, Obvious Destiny, is a Linda Rice horse who's not in particularly good form. She ends up winning because she's on the pace. So, Legally Blanca, who wants to do her running from way back in these races, and she runs very well. She breaks slowly, and Cornelia Velasquez is right. He rushes her up for position because he knows, and they understood that there was really no pace in the race. So she gave him an advantage at the start, and she rushed into position because she broke a little slowly, and she was not in the position she wanted to be. So for my money, this is a horse that just ran a lot better than it looks on paper.
I think you're 100% right here. You know, I questioned it myself when I first looked at it, and there's Legally Blanca, you know, toward the outside, and it seems like, you know, it's going to be the final 1/8 of a mile where she really starts to kick in here. But you know, watching the race, well, she didn't have that bad a trip, but then you think about her running style and the way she likes to run and the pace scenario in this race, and like you said, if she gets a strong pace next time out, or even a fairer pace next time out, she's going to be able to sit back, relax, do her thing, and then come with a good late kick, and she's going to be better than she was in this race.
I really think that's going to be the case. And we run another one. I think the Lena Spencer, perhaps it is, that we run at the end of the meet, which is the same condition and usually get a very good field. And I'm going to hope that there's more pace the next time. Legally Blanca in a fairly run race. I believe that she will win this race. They'll Strike the Bell, obviously, a horse who will have a chance behind her, but Legally Blanca will win better than Strike the Bell.
All right, well, that'll do it for this week's episodes of Trips and Traps. Once again, we thank you for watching, and remind you that you can send your viewer comments and race suggestions to tripsandtraps@NYRAinc.com.